There is now actually a four-way tie for first in the league standings, in the women's Big 12 standings, in the loss column. There's four teams that have 3 losses each. West Virginia has played one more game than the others, so they are 11-3. They were a half game ahead of Baylor, TCU, and Texas Tech, who have 3 losses in league play. So the TCU win pulls Baylor back to the pack now. Baylor would have been alone in first place had they been able to win the game last night. But TCU win 83-67. Pretty dominant win for the TCU Lady Frogs. She had 40 last night, not 41, but Olivia Miles had 40 points in the win. And then Suarez, her running partner, had 27 on the night also. So 67 points by those two players combined equaled Baylor's point total last night. Miles was 10 of 20 from three-point range. TCU hit 15 threes in the game. I think I'm right in this. Baylor was on a record pace, like a national record pace, for three-point field goal percentage. They were allowing about 23% from three-point range. And then TCU hits 15 of them last night. Miles had 10 of her own. And then as part of that night, she had 23 points in the third quarter. The team had 25 in the third quarter. Olivia Miles had 23 points in the third quarter alone, which I didn't see this listed anywhere. That's got to be close to a record. I mean, 23 points in 10 minutes.
Oh, you would think.
Garrett, that's amazing.
No, she's a special player. And, yeah, it's hard for anybody to put together that kind of run. I think it just kind of shows to her talent. But, yeah, that's something you're not expecting to see on a regular basis and hardly ever in general.
Right. Yeah. So a huge night for Olivia Miles, big win for TCU last night. And they come to Waco and win now 4 straight in the series for TCU over Baylor. 83-67 was the final. We'll talk more about it with Derek Smith coming up in just a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. Baylor now the women go to Orlando and play UCF coming up on Saturday afternoon. TCU has back-to-back first place showdowns. They host West Virginia on Sunday evening, 7:00 game Central Time on Sunday evening, as TCU hosts West Virginia again for first place or a share of first place in the Big 12 Conference. So big night last night, big crowd. I don't think we had this news yesterday when we were on the air, but later in the day yesterday, an anonymous donor bought up all the upper level seats at Foster Pavilion and then offered those seats free to anyone who would come and wear gold and support Baylor last night. That's pretty cool. That was cool to see. That means somebody really caught the spirit of how big that game was and wanted it to be a great crowd in support of Baylor. And it was a really, really good crowd last night. So thanks to whoever that was, anonymous donor, to make that possible, to have even a better crowd and a better atmosphere last night. I got to get a report on the magician to see how the magician was last night. I haven't heard yet, but we'll try to get a report from somebody who saw him put on the show. Okay, here's what else is going on. I mentioned how busy it was this weekend in Baylor athletics. For baseball beginning today, the Bears, and Mitch Thompson was on the Baylor Coaches Show with us last night. Thanks to Mitch, ran there right after practice, and always fun to visit with him. We said, all right, this is the end of talking season. Talking season ended last night. Playing season begins today for Coach Thompson and the Bears, and they open against New Mexico State, 3-game series at Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark. Maybe dodging some raindrops tomorrow. Not going to worry about that today. Playing at 4:00 today. The bunting is out. Chris Allman, the bunting is out at Baylor Ballpark, which is so great. And we talked about this on the show last night, the Baylor Coaches Show last night, how opening night is just always big, whether it's Little League, and I've had kids and grandkids playing in Midway Little League. Opening day is special. It's fun. And in high school, I know it's the same way. And in college, it certainly is. And in the pros, Major League Baseball, it is a huge deal opening day. So that's what we've got at Baylor Ballpark today, Magnolia Field, opening day, Baylor in Mexico State. 4 p.m. first pitch today. Right now, 2 p.m. start tomorrow, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Tomorrow, the promotion is Love at First Base on Valentine's Day, and you can get player-specific Valentines at the gate as you come in. Love at First Base sounds like the title of a Hallmark movie, but I think it's a great promotion to get people out on Valentine's Day. And then 1 o'clock, kids get in free and they can run the bases. I think kids wearing their uniforms can get in free on Sunday, and then they can run the bases after the game. So that's the weekend for Baylor baseball, and we'll talk more about that with Derek Smith, who will call the games with Tom Barfield beginning tomorrow. Talk about overlap. Derek will do the game today. He will, I think that's right. I think Derek's there today. We'll ask him. But he's got to get to Orlando because the women play UCF tomorrow and then back, and then a game on Sunday as well. So huge overlap weekend for Derek Smith. Softball continues in San Diego, playing at the San Diego State Tournament out there. Acrobatics and tumbling, they are at Azusa Pacific. That is match 2 of their new season. They won at St. Leo in Florida last week. Azusa Pacific today. And I think Azusa Pacific hosts the NCATA National Championships this year at the end of the season. Next year will be an NCAA championship for acrobatics and tumbling, and Baylor's going to put in a strong bid. I mean a strong bid to host, hopefully, the first NCAA championship in the sport coming up next year. Men's tennis, and Michael Woodson was on the show with us last night. They are coming off the win over A&M, which we talked about the last couple of days, and now hosting the ITA National Indoors here in Waco. It's in the Hawkins Indoor Facility. Huge national event for Baylor and Waco to be able to host this event. Looking for my notes here, Baylor plays UCF, a conference rival, coming up today, 3:30. Although Michael was saying even last night that it might be pushed a little bit because of the match before theirs. It's Texas and Texas A&M in the ITA National Indoors right before Baylor. So there's maybe pushed, may start around 4 or so. But then Wake Forest is here, the defending national champions, number 2 seed in the ITA National Indoors. Wake Forest plays UC Santa Barbara. The winner of that one and Baylor UCF meet tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 in the second round. Also, LSU, A&M, TCU, and UT are here. Tennis teams, men's tennis teams, as Baylor hosts the ITA National Indoors. And a national event hosted here in Waco. And it is so much work behind the scenes that has been going on and will continue to ramp up through the weekend. But just a pat on the back to so many people who make this run smoothly. There's so many small details that have to happen. Like yesterday when I went back to our building, the Simpson Athletic and Academic Center, here's the whole UCF team coming out of our building, and I think they'd been to the weight room. So somebody had to coordinate all that, getting their team into our weight room for a workout. Then there's all the workouts, practices on the courts in the Hawkins Indoor. So it is I would say it's a labor of love to be able to host these, but it is so much work for so many people at Baylor, and they are so good and make it run so smoothly. So well done by that group, and it's putting Baylor's best foot forward, and to be honest, Waco's best foot forward also. We want them to all have a good experience as they're here in Waco. All right, we are off and running on this Friday morning, Friday the 13th. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will visit with Derek Smith, uniquely qualified to talk Baylor women's basketball and Baylor baseball, both big stories on this Friday morning. John Morris Show presented by the Brazos Landing and Alliance Bank, Central Texas. We're glad you are with us, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Alliance Bank Central Texas understands that banking is about people. From first accounts to business growth, they actively partner with Central Texas businesses and families to help meet their financial goals. A variety of online products and services make banking easy without compromising the personalized banking experiences they are known for. Customer-focused banking isn't just what they do, it's who they are. Alliance Bank Central Texas, serving Central Texas across 7 convenient locations and at alliancebanktexas.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
At DeCampli's Italian Ristorante, we are committed to providing an authentic Italian experience. Through exceptional service, delicious food, and a family environment, we want our guests to create memories that they will want to share with their family and friends. Open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, closed on Sundays. Make your reservation today. Check us out on Facebook and at decampleys.com.
My name is David Maddox, owner of Waco Foundation Repair. I've been in business right at 20 years, incorporated since 2003, and nonstop, very busy business to be in. We stay plenty busy with this good old Central Texas ground that constantly moves and does its thing. If you think you have foundation repair issues, call Waco Foundation Repair today.
Is your vehicle in need of service or repairs? Visit Freddie Kish's Complete Car Care Center and get 10% off with a valid student ID. With ASE certified technicians, you can trust Freddie Kish to provide excellent service. Offering complete car care services foreign and domestic, from general maintenance to major repairs, Freddie Kish has got you covered. You can rest assured you're in good hands. Awarded the ASE Blue Seal of Excellence, quality is a guarantee. So hurry over to Freddie Kish's Complete Car Care Center.
And good morning. Welcome back. John Morris Show presented by the Brazos Landing and Alliance Bank Central Texas. Big weekend ahead for the Brazos Landing Valentine's weekend. Make it unforgettable at the Brazos Landing. They've got a 5-course meal available for you. Check it out on the web, thebrazoslanding.com. Please make a call and make a reservation ahead of time, or you might be left out. 254-753-2778. 254-753-2778 for the Brazos Landing and their great Valentine's weekend special. Check that out, and happy Valentine's. Hope everyone has a great and safe weekend. It's going to be a busy weekend for our next guest. Derek Smith joins us now, the voice of Baylor women's basketball and Baylor baseball. And Derek, I started today by talking about the crossover season. We have one in November when basketball's starting. We've got one now with baseball and softball starting. And you're right in the heart of that, aren't you, this weekend?
Yeah, it is it's a busy time. It's a fun time, but got to make sure you stay on top of everything, because there's always something zooming by the air traffic control tower, as you well know. But it's fun, when you got big basketball games, even when they don't go the way you want them, and baseball opening day, you can't complain about any of that.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk basketball first. The women and TCU last night, first place showdown. First, tell us, you were there. What was the atmosphere like? It seemed like it was really good with the gold out and a really good crowd.
Yeah, it was. And obviously that made it all the more disappointing that the team wasn't able to play the way they're capable, because it was a great crowd. Over 5,000 people, loud, engaged. Obviously, a generous Baylor donor purchased the remaining upper deck seats to give them away for free, and people took advantage of that. The students showed up, Baylor fan experience. Everyone did a lot of fun things. It was a great environment. Obviously, the game didn't go the way we wanted to, but I hope people who were there last night will come back because there's still 2 big games that could help the team get to a Big 12 regular season title, and that kind of environment can go a long way to help them get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the environment matched, the gravity of the game also. So that was cool to see in national TV on ESPN. Did you see, you were working, but did you see the magician or hear any reports on the magician for pregame?
Yeah, so I actually got to sit in. He did a little presentation for the team at their pregame meal. And I was there to interview Nikki, and I got to sit in and watch, and it was very impressive. We had our strength coach, Caleb Kruger, ended up with the magician told him to look under his watch, and there was a card under his watch that had somehow got there, and it matched the card that one of the players had picked from a deck. He had the players do this long math problem, and when he guessed the number correctly, it was 5 digits, and then when you flipped the number upside down, it said Sikkim. It was impressive. It was a great show. It was really good. I hope the students enjoyed them. I wish I could have seen more of them.
Yeah. Hey, that's pretty cool. And glad you and the team got a sneak preview during pregame yesterday.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. So a big build up for the game, home court advantage for Baylor, but was it a case of just too much Olivia Miles? Is that making things too simple?
Miles and Suarez, TCU has been a team this year that a huge portion of their offense has been delivered by 3 players: Olivia Miles, Marta Suarez, and then Donovan Hunter, who had a quiet night last night offensively, but they didn't need him to. As a trio, they average about 48 points a game. Well, obviously, Miles and Suarez alone erupted for 67 career highs for both of them. And on the postgame interview, Nikki said they had a strategy that was working in the first half. They didn't want Miles to drive inside. She's a great facilitator. But when she got hot and got comfortable, they were too slow to adjust. And it was that stretch in the third quarter where they kind of stuck with it, in which TCU went from being up by 4 with about halfway through the third quarter to pushing near 20 at times, and of course eventually leading by over 20 at times. And it was just a case where she got hot, and the defense allowed her just too much room as time went on. And then Nick even said in the post-game interview, she goes, "We could have withstood a big game from Miles, but not from her and Suarez." And obviously Suarez was great as well, which that was tough because normally the defense has been this team's strength all year. I think the defense is going to be what really determines how far they go, and had the number 1 3-point shooting defense in the nation, but TCU goes 15 of 29 from beyond the arc yesterday, so they flipped the script.
Yeah, that's the thing that stood out to me was I know how good that 3-point percentage defense was on a record pace, a national record pace. Mm-hmm. Then to give up 15 threes last night, you knew TCU was really hot there.
Yeah, and I think you still you look at it, they were still, as Nikki said, too slow to adjust. However, even so, I don't think you think that any player, no matter how good they are, is going to shoot with that kind of lights out. Olivia Miles is 10 of 20 from beyond the arc in the game. If she even goes 7 of 20, which is a very good 3-point shooting percentage, you're talking about a different game heading into the fourth quarter. But, credit her. She hit her shots, and our offense wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as it needed to be last night.
83-67 was the final TCU over Baylor, and 40 by Miles, 27 by Suarez, as you mentioned. But 23 points in the third quarter.
Yes.
By Miles, 23 points. In one quarter, have you ever seen anything like that?
I've not seen, since I've been doing the women's games, not like that. I remember some games we've had here over the years. I remember, like when I was doing PA on the men, I remember that game Makai Mason had when he hit 40, and there was one quarter where he just hit like 4 or 5 threes in a row, I feel like, or close to it. We saw some games where Brittany Griner, they just dumped it into her, every time, and she'd have some big quarters. But that reminded me of, I'll bring in my Indiana background. That reminded me of when I was in middle school watching Reggie Miller in the Garden. It was that kind of performance.
I knew you'd say that. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I knew you'd. I thought you could. I telegraphed it for you.
Yeah, no, I knew that was coming. But that's a great compliment. Unbelievable. Did they score how many points total in that quarter?
believe it was 25. She had 23 of their 25, and Suarez had the other 2.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Does TCU, and that's 4 straight wins by the Frogs over Baylor now in women's basketball, do they have a little bit of a swagger when they come in now, now that the tide has turned a little bit?
It certainly feels like it right now. They have, obviously they flipped the script in that game in Fort Worth last year and then won 2 one-possession games. And obviously last night by more than that. I mean, right now, they have the edge in the rivalry, and Baylor's going to have a big chance to get it back in the final game of the regular season, and they're very capable of doing so. But you want that. You want to see Baylor get the swagger back. And really, I'll just say too, for everyone, thinking about the final 5 games of the regular season, last night was very disappointing. It makes it harder to get where you want to be in the Big 12 regular season title. But you've got 4 teams within a half game of each other now. West Virginia is a half game ahead of everyone else at 11-3. Then you got Baylor, TCU, and Texas Tech all tied up at 10-3. Baylor plays at Tech and at TCU. You've got West Virginia and TCU this weekend. West Virginia has a couple of Texas Tech has us up there. So your goals are still right in front of you. It's a little bit harder to get. You could have put a little bit of a stranglehold on things, but you couldn't do that last night. But these final 5 games, all your goals are right there if you can take care of business.
Yeah, that's well said. And final thought on basketball, that's 5 games in 12 days for the women. So this is a tough closing stretch.
It is. And it reminds me a lot of last year. The women did a great job to make that final game against TCU for the Big 12 regular season title. Obviously, it went TCU's way. But, yeah, you've got this weekend, then at Lubbock. And then if you win those 2 games, your award is to play in a 48-hour span, Arizona and Kansas State. And if you get through that, hopefully you can make that last game in Fort Worth a chance to go win a Big 12 regular season title.
Wow. Derek Smith, our guest, he's the voice of Baylor women's basketball and baseball. And the baseball season opener is today. Tell me how you feel. I feel a lot of excitement, a lot of positive vibes coming out of Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark.
Yeah, that's going to be fun for us to say this year. That's brought a lot of positive attention to the program. But, yeah, happy opening day to you and to everyone watching. It's always fun, and it is a good time for optimism. And I think, like you said, there's good reason for that. I feel like there's elements of this team that you can count on. There's 5 returning 300 hitters. You've got a pitching staff that even with some new players, you saw Sean Snedeker do such a great job last year lowering their ERA by 2 runs. If he could lower it by 2 runs again, that'd be fantastic. But even if it's just, kind of on par, pitching should keep you in games. And so I think the question for Baylor fans is you think, okay, Travis Sanders and Pearson Reebok, those are guys that are both back. They were big-time contributors last year. You got a couple of UTA transfers on the corner infield. Tice Armstrong, 11 home runs last year. And then Kate Dodson, who's just a scrappy ball player. He's the son of Jeremy Dodson, who played here from 96 to 98. That's what your infield looks like. And then as you look at the outfield, I think there's a lot of intrigue there. You've got Ty Johnson back for his 5th year, but you got some young guys, and they're going to take their lumps. But the question is that how quickly can they learn from them? Brady Janusek is a freshman you'll see in the outfield who has tremendous power. He's 6'4", about 200 pounds, and apparently he can miss hit balls over the wall at Baylor Ballpark, at Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark, which is not an easy thing to do. That is not a home run haven. Bo Caraway, who's led the state of Texas in stolen bases. He's a little guy, about 5'10", 150, and he can run to first base in under 3.7 seconds. And if he can get on base, he's going to put pressure on teams. And so I think what's going to be fun with all that is watching some of these young guys develop. And as the veterans produce like they're capable, you could bide some time as the young guys figure it out. And then I think as you get into Big 12, the hope would be that they're finding their way. This is a team that won 33 games last year but missed the tournament. Could they win around that but win the games that really matter in Big 12 play to get to the tournament again? And I don't know, but I think it's exciting. I think the capability is right there, and it's going to be kind of fun to see that come together.
Yeah, very cool. Well, it all starts today, and we'll see you out there. Good luck in the heart of your crossover season. And understand when I say this, I mean it in the best way. I hope it's a long crossover season because I hope the women are playing for a long time in March.
Yeah, me too. I hope we are navigating schedules quite a bit here between now and early April. That'd be a lot of fun.
Great. Hey, great to have you on with us. We'll see you at the ballpark.
See you there, John. It's good to have your voice back talking Baylor in this format. It's great congrats on the launch of the show here recently. It's good to hear you and Jerry and Hoot, and glad to be on with you.
Very nice. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Week one wrapping up today. Thank you, Derek Smith, voice of Baylor women's basketball and Baylor baseball. Baseball opens today, 4 p.m. at Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark, 2 o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Take a break. Back to basketball when we come back. The Baylor men out of conference playing the Louisville Cardinals coming up tomorrow at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. We'll visit with the Hall of Fame voice of the Cardinals, Paul Rogers, when we come back. Stay with us. John Morris Show presented by the Brazos Landing and Alliance Bank, Central Texas.
If I'm only wearing one suit this summer, it has to be Tuileries Performance Linen. It's wrinkle resistant, machine washable, and built with stretch and breathability that actually moves with you. It'll keep you cool, sharp, and stress-free at your next event.
Some of the best foods that you can eat are very simple foods. So we selected very lean proteins and put them on the best trajectory, the best plane to live a healthy life.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
Bidets.com, where we sell mini bidets, not mini bidets.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
Alliance Bank Central Texas understands that banking is about people, from first accounts to business growth. They actively partner with Central Texas businesses and families to help meet their financial goals. A variety of online products and services make banking easy without compromising the personalized banking experiences they are known for. Customer-focused banking isn't just what they do, it's who they are. Alliance Bank Central Texas, serving Central Texas across 7 convenient locations and at alliancebanktexas.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Welcome back, John Morris Show on a Friday the 13th. It happens to be on Saturday the 14th. Baylor basketball will be in Fort Worth, Dickies Arena, to take on the Louisville Cardinals, a non-conference game that comes up here in mid-February. And what an honor, a guy I've been a fan of for a long, long time, to have on with us this morning to preview that matchup and reminisce about Kentucky days a little bit. Paul Rogers, the Hall of Fame voice of the Louisville Cardinals, joins us. Paul, welcome, and thanks for your time this morning.
I have no sound.
All right, let's work on that.
I was hearing.
All right, we'll get you going there, Paul. And Baylor and Louisville comes up tomorrow. The Cardinals are 18-6. They are 8-4 in the ACC, coming off a completely dominating win on Monday night. So the Big 12 has the second game in the pecking order on Big Monday. The ACC has the first game. The ACC game was Louisville and North Carolina State. All Louisville did was win by 41 over a good NC State team that is now, after the loss, 18-7 and 9-3 in the ACC. So dominating win, 41 points. They were led by a guy named Michael Brown. We'll see him tomorrow. He had 45 points in the win for the Cardinals on Monday, tied the school record, held by a guy named Wes Unseld. Maybe you know that name from either college or pro days. But Michael Brown tied the school record with 45 points. And the school record he tied with threes. He was 10 of 16 from three-point range in that game. Unbelievable showing, 45 points by Michael Brown, a freshman, to lead Louisville to the big win over North Carolina State. Also, Ryan Conwell, who's their leading scorer on the year, preseason All-ACC, all he did was drop 31 in that game. So what a performance, what an offensive performance by Louisville in the win over NC State. Again, 118-77 was the final score. The Cardinals shot 60% from the floor, 81.5% from the free throw line, and they hit 60% of their threes in that game. 18 of 30 from three-point range for Louisville in the win. 118-77 was the final. And next up, and now Louisville, like Baylor, stepping out of conference and playing the ACC team, playing the Big 12 school tomorrow at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. So, Garrett, tell me when we're ready to go, and we look forward to getting things rolling with Paul Rogers. You want to try it now?
Let's try it again.
Let's try it
Think you might be
now.
able to hear.
Paul, you got us?
Can you hear us, Paul?
Hate that. Pilot error. Our fault. Sorry about that. Let's do this. How about this? How about I really want to talk to Paul. How about we take a break here and try to get things set, and then give ourselves a little time on the other side of the break to visit with Paul Rogers, voice of the Louisville Cardinals. So let's take a break here. Brandon, if you can make that happen, we'll take a break and be right back.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
It's a great meditation sport. It's just yourself. You get out here, feeling the rhythm, feeling the rhyme. It's a good time.
It gives me the opportunity to hang out with the fellas for about 5 hours, and I get some solitude, relaxation, and a great time. Malban Golf.
As life goes on, it settles into patterns. But it doesn't have to go that way. You just have to do one thing. Get out of the house. Get out of your comfort zone. Leave room for the unexpected.
American Tourister. Is your vehicle in need of service or repairs? Visit Freddie Kish's Complete Car Care Center and get 10% off with a valid student ID. With ASE certified technicians, you can trust Freddie Kish to provide excellent service. Offering complete car care services, foreign and domestic, from general maintenance to major repairs, Freddie Kish has got you covered. You can rest assured you're in good hands. Awarded the ASE Blue Seal of Excellence, quality is a guarantee. So hurry over to Freddie Kish's Complete Car Care Center.
For those who want the best, look no further than the Founders Series by Louisiana Grills. If you want the best food, then you need the best grill. Louisiana Grills.
At DeCampli's Italian Ristorante, we are committed to providing an authentic Italian experience. Through exceptional service, delicious food, and a family environment, we want our guests to create memories that they will want to share with their family and friends. Open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, closed on Sundays. Make your reservation today. Check us out on Facebook and at decampleys.com.
All right, welcome back, John Morris Show on a Friday. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Thanks to Brandon and Garrett behind the scenes making things work. And yes or no?
I'm hearing you now.
And then we do. All right, so we welcome in with Baylor playing Louisville tomorrow, out of conference game in Fort Worth. We welcome in the Hall of Fame voice of the Louisville Cardinals. Paul Rogers joins us. Paul, thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate it.
Glad to. You and I have talked so many times, but never really met
physically. I know.
And now I was looking forward to this, and I couldn't get the darn sound on. I was hearing you earlier. Cut out, but anyway, now it's back, so all good.
Very cool. Thank you very much, and hope your wife's okay. Hope she's doing all right.
Yeah, she took a little fall yesterday. We're trying to get into doctors, but you got to plan your fall 2 weeks out because that's when the doctor's available.
That's very funny. I thought you were going to say around your basketball schedule.
Well, that too.
Doctor's schedule. That's pretty good. First off, it's an honor to have you on. I've been a fan of yours for a long, long time, and not that you're that much older than I am, but just listen to you growing up on WHAS in Louisville, and then the Louisville Cardinals work for so many years. So it'll be fun to visit in person tomorrow. What's the thinking around the Cardinals program about a non-conference game here in mid-February?
Well, it's unusual. It's not unheard of around college basketball, but I can't remember the last time Louisville did this. Years ago, when Denny Crum was here, Louisville and UCLA used to play every year. And that would be a fun trip and a fun game. But I really can't offhand remember in recent years when Louisville's had a non-conference game at this time of year. But it's fun. It works out well because Louisville has a game at SMU on Tuesday. So they work this into the schedule. We'll be down there for a few days. And I think it's good. You know how conference is. It's such a grind. And it's always nice to see somebody new. And it is something to change the routine a little bit and kind of get you set up maybe for what's hopefully ahead in NCAA tournament play. So I think everybody's good with it.
That's good. Baylor and the Big 12, we did the Big 12 SEC Challenge for a while. I know you guys are doing something similar now. So that was sort of like this. The games were at first in December, and then they moved them to late January. Yep. It is different, but it's almost like, it's almost like a breath of fresh air to play somebody that doesn't know every play call, everything you're going to run out on the floor.
Yeah. That's Louisville's thinking, and I'm sure it's Baylor's thinking too. And it's kind of a marquee game. There's a lot of interest in it when you get two strong teams from two very strong conferences. So I don't think there's anything negative to it. I don't think there's any rule that says you have to just pound week after week. Game and conference play. So it's a nice little, as you said, breath of fresh air.
Yeah, very good. Well, Louisville seems to be playing really, really well. Great wins and, a dominating win over NC State on Monday night.
That was just one of those freaky otherworldly games. I mean, Louisville had a little bit up and down. They were winning, but you kind of felt like they weren't really clicking on all cylinders. Michael Brown had been back for a while, but missed that 8-game stretch with injuries. They had some other injuries. Baylor certainly knows about that. He was trying to fit the pieces together, but all of a sudden it just all clicked, and just an otherworldly performance by Michael Brown tied West Unseld school record with 45 points. Ryan Conwell had 31, first time ever in Louisville history. Two players have had over 30.
Wow.
Louisville shot 60% from the field and from three. Defended well. Just the only problem with it, after seeing that, you really want it, and it's just you're not going to be able to duplicate that on a regular basis. But it did show them and us, I think, what this team is capable of, and all the things they've talked about. They knew they had a bunch of great shooters, and now they made shots, but they ran the offense. They get a lot of what they try to do. They're known as a three-point shooting team, and they are, but they get those with an inside presence. They really emphasize paint touches, getting to the rim. They outscore most of their opponents in the paint, so they don't just stand around the perimeter and shoot. And it all just came together the other night. It was very impressive to watch.
Against a good team. I mean, NC State's really good, aren't they?
You know what? This is going to sound silly, but going into the game, I didn't think Louisville would win.
Right? Yeah.
NC State was playing that well. They hadn't lost on the road. Louisville, as I said, was kind of struggling to get the pieces together, and I was not optimistic going in that game at all. If they'd have won by 1 on a half-court shot at the buzzer, I'd have been thrilled. I never dreamed they'd win by 41 points, and I don't think anybody else did either.
How about Louisville picked second behind Duke in the preseason poll, and you're sitting there at 8-4 right now in the league. Has the season played out to this point like you thought it might, or a little bit better, or what would you say?
Not quite. The big problem has been that Louisville put together a bear of a non-conference schedule, and they knew there'd be challenges out there. But what's been a little bit disappointing is Arkansas, Tennessee. Then you got a conference play, Duke and Virginia, two of the arguably, well, I don't think you can argue Duke for sure, and Virginia. Anyway, their games against the really top-notch teams, they have not fared well. They've not won, and they've lost by big margins. Now, they did have some good wins over Indiana, Memphis, Cincinnati, a couple of others. But in the real marquee games that people are really fired up for, Louisville, frankly, kind of laid an egg. So from that standpoint, it's been a little bit disappointing. But again, they were going through the injury bug and all that. And I think they feel right now with what's ahead of them, not only this game, SMU, Louisville did beat them a couple of weeks ago, but they're good. And they still have games at North Carolina and at Clemson. So the opportunities are there to show, hey, Louisville can beat these top-tier teams. And they're hoping to do that here late in the year.
You were talking about big wins in non-conference. You didn't mention Kentucky. That's got to be up there, right?
How did that happen? Because that was a huge win at the time.
Right.
Kentucky has kind of had their struggles, but they're playing well again lately. And Kentucky has really had Louisville's number in the last 15 years or so. So, yes, that was a huge win. And Michael Brown did have a big game that night, too. So that is one. I apologize for leaving that one out. I don't know how that happened.
No need to apologize. It leads me to ask you to let our viewers and listeners know what's that like being a Louisville Cardinal in the state of Kentucky. You're a UK grad. Also.
I did. I went to Kentucky.
Go ahead.
I grew up in Louisville, a Kentucky fan, in all honesty. My parents both went to school there, and I went to school there. But I always grew up a sports fan. I lived in Louisville, so I like Louisville, too. I'm not one of those people that just hates one and loves the other. I mean, Louisville is my team, obviously, but I've never been anything really against Kentucky. I mean, after all, they gave me the education to do this vocation that I love. But it's a little different. There's a lot of venom in the rivalry, and Jefferson County, the Louisville area, is full of Kentucky fans, obviously. It's the State University. But it's strong, maybe a little more Louisville. It's hard to tell. People will tell you basically 50-50 Louisville, Kentucky. But outside of Jefferson County, it's probably 99% blue. So Louisville's a bit of an island there, and they're always going to fight that. But I think they've earned the respect, certainly nationally, and I think around the state as well.
Wow. So out of college, you connected with the legendary Kaywood Ledford. That led to your long career, I think 47 years at WHAS Radio in Louisville. But I grew up in Danville, as you know, and so I grew up listening to Kaywood Ledford. And what a treat that must have been for him to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, I'd like for you to work on our great sports staff at WHAS.
Boy, was it ever. I got to know him a little bit at UK, not best buddies by any means, but he knew I was a student there and an aspiring sportscaster. And just as luck would have it, after my senior year, while I was there, I was working at the campus station. I would broadcast games. And after my senior year, they decided to expand their sports department. They actually needed an additional person because they picked up the University of Louisville rights. And they hired me, and I was thrilled to no end. You never dreamed you could start at that level. Unfortunately, I did them 1 year, and then we lost the rights. So I didn't do them for a while. And then when we did get the rights back, another really well-known guy in town, Van Vance, who had done the Kentucky Colonels for years. Well, the Colonels were now out of business, so Van picked up the Louisville job. And then he retired in the early 90s, and I took over then. So I've been doing them ever since. But, yes, it was a thrill to work for Kaywood. Listening to him growing up, I've always sort of modeled his style to some degree, I think. Although as you mature and go on, I think you kind of develop your own style too. But he meant a lot to me, a great guy, great mentor, and very, very well known around these parts to the older people. It's it's sort of scary a little bit when you talk to younger people and they don't know who he was.
Yeah.
But it just proves we all move on, and there's another guy that's going to come along behind us.
Well, isn't that the truth? And for Baylor folks, the best way to describe Kaywood Ledford is Kaywood was Kentucky's Frank Fallon. Frank Fallon was our Kaywood Ledford. Frank was our legendary voice of Baylor, who I got to work with for 8 years and then followed in this position. But
he did PA for the NCAA Final Four for many years, did he not?
21 years. You're exactly right. Yeah. And very well respected, just like Kaywood, that old school. Gosh, those guys were good, weren't they?
Sir, they were.
Ugh.
I think most of us now sort of envy that time when TV wasn't as prevalent. And you had to listen to us. It was kind of the glory days of radio. There's some great announcers from those days.
That's cool. Fun to reminisce about those two legends, really, in broadcasting. And this may not be interesting to anybody but you and I, but you mentioned the Kentucky Colonels. That was a great team because I remember watching them. I saw a game at Memorial Coliseum in Lexington one year. They played the New Jersey Nets, and
I think I was at that game too.
Well, I mean, that was the ABA. It was Dr. J, and it was a high-scoring game, the red, white, and blue ball. But that was a great team.
They really were, and they went a year or two. You know, the Carolina Panthers were the first sort of regional franchise. They played in, I think, Raleigh, Greensboro, and maybe one other city. And the Colonels didn't go to that extreme, but they would go over to Lexington and play 3 or 4 games a year. But the ABA was fantastic. There's a new documentary apparently coming out about the league, but it was a fun league. Those guys were fantastic athletes, and those guys who are still around, there's a great bond among them, knowing what a special entity the ABA was.
Yeah. There's a website, you've probably seen it, remembertheaba.com, which is really cool. A lot of history, and we're talking about something some folks watching us have never heard of. It was terrific. There were some great teams. I always am surprised how good Kentucky was, but they didn't make the cut. You know, they didn't make the
they were so close. That's a long story that a lot of people are still mad about because they were only like $300,000 short of what they needed. And
wow, is that right?
The amount they needed was like $3 million, which today is peanuts.
Yeah.
And you see what the Pacers went on to do, because Kentucky and Indiana were one of the primo rivalries in the league, and a lot of people still long for those days. Man, but what has happened with them gone is Louisville is now the NFL and the NBA. I mean, that's what the University of Louisville status is in this town, and so in a sense, I guess you could say it's been good for U of L.
Yeah. Hey, that's great. Well, it's fun to reminisce. Final thought. I know this is a home and home series that neither game will be at home. Neutral site in Fort Worth tomorrow, and then next year it'll be Louisville's choice. Any thoughts on where that might be for that return trip next year?
To be honest with you, I had forgotten all about that, so I don't know. One, I would say reasonable solution would be Nashville. It's about 3 hours from here, or Indianapolis, either one.
Gotcha.
Indy's about 2 hours from here. Louisville has played in Nashville periodically. People like going down there. It's a good town. So I would, unless they want to make it someplace a little bit close. Well, I was going to say Lexington, but that probably wouldn't work. But just off the top of my head, I would say Indy or Nashville would be two likely places.
That sounds good. And that's a long way down the road. Look forward to tomorrow in Fort Worth. Safe travels to you. Hope your wife is okay. And look forward to visiting in person in Fort Worth tomorrow.
Thanks, John. Great to be with you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. The Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Louisville Cardinals, that is Paul Rogers. Been doing football there since 1992, basketball since 1995. So a long time, great perspective on Louisville athletics, and really, really fun to visit with him, and look forward to seeing him as the Bears play the Cardinals tomorrow, 3 o'clock Central Time tip-off from Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. I think it'll be a good crowd. I've heard ticket sales have been really good for this. We've got a lot of Baylor fans in the Metroplex, and really cool that it's an afternoon game on Valentine's Day, so you could make the game and then go out for a Valentine's dinner afterward. All right, thanks again to Alliance Bank Central Texas, your Central Texas business bank, voted by Forbes 2025 Best in State Banks. Alliance Bank Central Texas values their relationships with their customers and their communities. With several locations across Central Texas, AllianceBankTexas.com. All right, we're going to wrap things up here on a Friday. Do appreciate your being with us. First week, 1 week in the books. This was great. Thanks to Brandon and Garrett behind the scenes. Thanks to Corey Dickman and Mike Hamilton for the invitation to for the opportunity to do this show. You know, we're going to primarily talk Baylor athletics or Big 12 or college athletics. And if you want a Baylor fix, this could be the place for you. We're here every day, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time. Been archived on YouTube and Facebook and X, and lots of opportunities to catch the show if you can't catch it live. But do appreciate everyone that is tuned in today, and we'll reconvene on Monday. We'll also talk to you tomorrow from Fort Worth as the Bears take on the Louisville Cardinals tomorrow afternoon. Don't forget Baylor baseball, home opening weekend at Baylor Ballpark, Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark. The bunting is out. Should be great weather. Yesterday, Garrett, we were at the ballpark doing interviews, and it was just, you could not have had a better day. Couldn't have had a better day. I think it was 78 degrees, sun shining, blue sky, that fresh cut grass, beautiful field, finely manicured field, ready for opening day. Oh my gosh, it was just perfect.
I don't want to wish list on anything, but I am mentally preparing for a doubleheader on Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm just mentally preparing, given the weather on Saturday.
Yeah, Mitch mentioned that as a possibility. I mean, they'll make it work.
Oh, they're definitely going to make it work.
They'll make it work if they can't play on Saturday because of rain. But today is opening day, and there really is something special about opening day. Thanks to Derek Smith being on with us, the voice of Baylor women's basketball and baseball. Thanks to Paul Rogers, the voice of the Louisville Cardinals. Thanks to you for watching. We'll get back together on Monday. John Morris Show, thanks to the Rogue Media Network. Alliance Bank Central Texas understands that banking is about people. From first accounts to business growth, they actively partner with Central Texas businesses and families to help meet their financial goals. A variety of online products and services make banking easy without compromising the personalized banking experiences they are known for. Customer-focused banking isn't just what they do, it's who they are. Alliance Bank Central Texas, serving Central Texas across 7 convenient locations and at alliancebanktexas.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
At DeCampli's Italian Ristorante, we are committed to providing an authentic Italian experience. Through exceptional service, delicious food, and a family environment, we want our guests to create memories that they will want to share with their family and friends. Open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, closed on Sundays. Make your reservation today. Check us out on Facebook and at decampleys.com.
My name is David Maddox, owner of Waco Foundation Repair. I've been in business right at 20 years, incorporated since 2003, and nonstop, very busy business to be in. We stay plenty busy with this good old Central Texas ground that constantly moves and does its thing. If you think you have foundation repair issues, call Waco Foundation Repair today.
Is your vehicle in need of service or repairs? Visit Freddie Kish's Complete Car Care Center and get 10% off with a valid student ID. With ASE certified technicians, you can trust Freddie Kish to provide excellent service. Offering complete car care services, foreign and domestic, from general maintenance to major repairs, Freddie Kish has got you covered. You can rest assured you're in good hands. Awarded the ASE Blue Seal of Excellence, quality is a guarantee. So hurry over to Freddie Kish's Complete Car Care Center